everyone. My name is Karen Robertson with Adventures in Wisdom, and today I'm speaking with Delia Rusu, one of our senior life coaches for kids and teens at Adventures in Wisdom. Delia is based in Ontario, Canada, and has been a wisdom coach since 2016. She specializes in life coaching for kids and teens between the ages of 5 and 18. Today, we're going to be talking about some of her experiences she's had with life coaching for kids, and also her experiences being a life coach with Adventures in Wisdom curriculum. Welcome, Delia. I'm looking forward to chatting with you today.
Hi, Karen. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure and an honor to be interviewed and to talk about my experience. I am very honored and happy to be here.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, so one of the reasons why we wanted to talk to Delia is that because she has been a wisdom coach for such a long time and has been getting absolutely phenomenal results working with kids and teens of different ages. And Delia has worked with people in person and online. So what I wanted to do is just start by having Delia share with us some of her experiences working with kids and some of the success stories.
One of the success stories that I had it with a little girl that I am still coaching. We're in our second year actually, and she started with me because her mom was a bit concerned about her little girl becoming all of a sudden less confident, worried about what kids might be thinking at school about her and how they might be reacting, and always saying that she's shy. So it seems that she's convinced herself that she was shy and wouldn't even make the effort to go out and make new friends. And we know that this is always an issue when kids start school. It was very important for her to have a foundation, to start with the mindset, which is the first chapter or the first module of the Adventures in Wisdom curriculum, and then continue with learning how to become more confident, how to have more self-esteem, how to understand her uniqueness, all these things that helped her understand that she is not shy. She has the power within herself to reach out and make more friends and to be happier at school, and just all coming like all the good benefits out of the experience. And it was so amazing to see that such a young child can actually understand the benefit of practicing the skills.
You said you worked through the whole curriculum. Did you do stories, activities? Did you coach in person, online, especially with COVID having happened in the past year?
Exactly. Yeah. So the previous year, we did coaching in person when COVID wasn't a problem, and this year we continued the coaching online through Zoom. Everybody is on Zoom
yes.
these days, and every coaching session, I'm using both story and a nice activity. I feel that is really important for children, and we know that the curriculum is structured in a way so that we work with all their senses, so they're able to hear the story, they're able to process it, and also do a nice activity that would always be something that they can do at home. It's having that activity, which could be a self-esteem card, or it could be self-confidence with positive affirmations board, or it could be a nice self-love letter we actually did this year to for self-esteem. Those are things that kids, they're going to have them and they're going to keep them, and they will be able to remember. It wasn't just like the story that they might have heard and maybe forget afterwards. So I feel that everything just works together to help them understand this important life skills. So with all my clients, I do work on a weekly basis, and the best that I found out that it works for them so that they practice the skills enough is to work on a 12-week program, and we meet weekly now online. And I explained to her and to, you know, all my clients the activities that we do. You might see, actually, I forgot to mention in the back, this is my classroom. And right now it is an online classroom, but kids can see it when I work with them, just the way I am right now speaking with you, Karen. And you might see in the background some of the posters that we're using for self-esteem, and some of the cards that we created with kids in the past that were here, but now I just, you know, take one of those and show it to them and explain to them how they might need to work through it. And kids that are young and they might not know how to write, I actually write in the chat for them some of the words if they have trouble with some of the words. So we need to be flexible and innovative this way and make it work online as well.
Can you just tell me a little bit about what it's like life coaching teens using the Adventures in Wisdom curriculum?
I must say, I do love working with teenagers. They are such amazing human beings. And unfortunately, I hear a lot of parents complaining and a lot of bad rap that teenagers are getting. They're lazy, they don't have direction, they don't want to do anything. And that is not true. When you are able to reach out to understand the power that they have within themselves and what they actually want for themselves. And that is something that I am honored and so happy to be able, when I'm working with a teenager, to be part of their journey of understanding, you know, what they want for themselves. It is life-changing. It is amazing. The way the curriculum, I mean, it can definitely be used. Some people are asking, well, stories, you know, stories, like teenagers are going to be bored to hear a story. No, not necessarily. I work with many of them who actually enjoy. They're like, yeah, I like to hear a story. I'd like to hear a story. And we discuss afterwards the meaning of it, because that's what's important to not thinking about, oh, that's kind of a, you know, simplistic story and I'm 13, 14, 15 and I don't care about that anymore. No, we talk about the meaning. And sometimes I might even explain to them, hey, I just want you to not focus on the fact that it's a story for kids, but the meaning of it. And we're going to discuss a little bit. And then they actually notice and they might say, oh, I kind of know what this is referring to. And I had a situation like that with a friend, or I know a friend of mine who once, you know, went through something like this. So relating that simple, if you want, story with something in real life, this is where things are really life-changing, and an activity for them. And I am extremely flexible to ask them, what do you like? What would you like the activity to do? Like I spend time to understand what they like and what they're passionate about. And some of them, I want to make a video because they're all into making videos. You know, they might even have their own videos on YouTube and like, I'll make a video. Some of them are actually very crafty and they enjoy coloring. They're like, yeah, that's just calming and nice and everything. And then they might just like to color something. And I might send them some things for them to color that are related to the skill that we're working on. And some of them, you know, plainly, they like to do cards like this, like I have in the back, you know, positive affirmations type of board, or or, you know, creating a little thing. A box of awesome is something that we created. Some like to do a vision board online. Like I've done a lot of digital vision boards, you know, those vision boards and the vision boards parties, and yeah, everybody, adults and for children as well. And they enjoy doing that. And we might spend a couple of sessions just, you know, pulling things over the internet, images and things like that, and creating the vision board. So there's lots that can be done, and they're amazing if you really take the time to understand what they want and what they like, and they feel validated and they feel so happy.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. I think that's so important for teens, and often with teens, it's that outside mentor or that outside voice that they will be a little bit more open with. So it's wonderful that you've got that role that you can support teens in that way. How did you get into life coaching for kids and teens?
So I was actually looking for something to help and empower my own daughters. I have two teenage daughters at the time, but like 5 years ago when I started with Adventures in Wisdom, they were just starting high school and the younger one starting middle school. So there were a lot of challenges coming up with those, that time, that life experience for their ages. And I was looking, what can I do? I knew about personal development from my experience. And I was thinking, what is something that I knew? I saw that preaching, lecturing, those don't work with teenagers and with kids, and frankly nobody likes to be lectured or told to do a certain way unless they actually understand what is the reason why we ask them to do those things. And when you focus on something, it just comes to you, right? So like my mind was searching, looking for something that would be useful, and I just stumbled over Adventures in Wisdom, and I got the free positive self-talk story, and I looked at it and I shared it with my daughters, just look, this seems to be fun and this seems to be something interesting. And I actually saw that, not immediately, but I actually saw that they were receptive to this kind of teaching through stories, and not my usual do this because I know better than you, because I'm a parent and I've been through that. And yes, and with that I just, what else, that so many kids need this help. So I looked at the certification and I did it.
So you did the certification. That's really neat. So you started out as a parent with a need, and then you saw the ability to help others, and you did the certification. I didn't know that about your background. And had you been a life coach in the past, or had you worked with kids in the past?
No, completely new. If you ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up as a little kid, I would say a teacher, I would say an actor, I would say a singer. I feel like I'm doing a bit of acting with the kids, like the role playing and stuff like that we do a lot, and the teaching. So here we go.
Yes. And so did you find the certification process helpful then to guide you and the curriculum? Like how does the certification and the curriculum help support you then, since you weren't a life coach before?
Yeah, so absolutely, like the curriculum is just so rich. Even now, after 5 years, I still discover things in it, because there's just so much help and so much information that is very, very useful. So the stories, and then not only that, we have the help with the actual coaching session and things that we can ask children and things that we can help them with, and also the wisdom for home that we can help parents to understand, because it's very important for the families to also understand what we're doing in class and during the coaching session with the kids. So sending that material home for the parent to review, so they speak, they continue the conversation at home, is very, very important. So that's one of the things, the curriculum, the activities, like the proposed activities that are part of the curriculum, those are gold as well, like very, I always have an activity for a story, because and kids will say, I always ask them, what do you like best about today? And sometimes there would be, the activity was the best thing. Oh, I had so much fun. And then sometimes there will be, I really loved the story. I really connected. So both of them are really, really helpful. We shouldn't think that it's just one and maybe we should try this. And the same kids would say one time they would like this, one time they would like that. So I think that's extremely helpful.
Delia, do you have a favorite story in the Adventures in Wisdom curriculum?
The self-confidence story. I love it, that one so much, with the Canville and Cantville. And kids are absolutely, they spend minutes, tens of minutes, discussing about how the world would be if everybody was living in Kentville, if nobody ever tried to do anything new. And it's just so good for the imagination of understanding how, if we don't get out of our comfort zone to try something new, nothing in the world will exist as it is today. And that's just fascinating. I find it for them as well.
So you've been a coach for a really long time, and you started this because you were looking for a solution for your own daughters. And I recently had the opportunity to talk to a coach here in Australia who, kind of the same thing, started using the curriculum with her sons, and I got the opportunity to meet her sons as well. And they were very, very positive about what their experiences were. They talked about using the language over the last several years and that sort of thing. So I'm wondering, what have you noticed, how Adventures in Wisdom has helped your daughters, or what impact has it been in your family? Is the language part of your family language, things like golden hearts, et cetera, et cetera. So, what are you open to sharing about as far as the impact on your own family, since that was the starting point for you?
Yeah, so definitely. So we did maybe 2 or 3 times, we actually went through the stories, like the audio stories. And my youngest would just love for us to, before bed, that was her bedtime story. So she would love for us to just put the story on, and listen to it and say good night. And there wasn't more than that about teaching it. So how amazing is that, just by listening to that story? And then we would discuss, maybe 1 week from now, it would just come all of a sudden a discussion about, oh, you're being such a negative, Nikki, from the story. And I was like, oh, you were actually paying attention to that? And or how about hearing a bit of Yahoo talk and less of the Yaki talk? And I was like, oh, okay, I know where that is coming from. So it's incredibly amazing that only by sharing that thing, only kind of by sharing that resource, without having to, hey, listen to this and come on, pay attention, and like nagging all the time, the results are just there. I mean, almost automatically.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about, because you just mentioned a group or whatever, group versus one-on-one coaching, because you do both, don't you?
Yes.
Can you just tell us a little bit about what the difference is between, and do you do workshops, or like, how do you approach coaching, and what types of services do you deliver, and in what formats?
Right. So mostly this time with the online coaching, with COVID and things like that, I've moved all my services completely online at the moment, and I'm working one-on-one and small group coaching, 3, maximum 4. That is the sweet spot that I see, so that everybody has actually undivided time, or they can share their opinions, and we don't rush through things. When you have a big group, it's a little bit harder for everybody to be able to share and talk and say what they have to say. I do share stories with both groups and the one-on-one coaching, and also the activities as well. With the group, it might be a bit more challenging to do the same activities if not all kids enjoy doing the same activities. So as I said, one of them might be more craft oriented, some of them might be more, what I would like to make a video. So sometimes I give them homework to do at home to complete the activity. Also, I wanted to mention for the group, the bingo. We have those bingo charts for the stories. So kids look for different words that we mention in the story, this way kind of making sure that they pay attention, and they love to do that too. And we found a way to play that online as well, that actually, when they find a word, they put that in the chat, and you can see sometimes it can become very competitive, finding the word and jumping in and putting it in the chat. And yeah, that is a really great one to keep them paying attention about what's being discussed in the story. Yeah, and in a group it could be more dynamic, because they would start talking to each other, and they would start helping each other like we do sometimes. Hey, what do you think about if somebody wants to share a situation, you know, generated from the story? I always open it up to the group, and I might say, what do you think about, let's say, Deanna's, that's not her real name, Deanna's situation. What would you do if you were? And then kids just jump up and help. And there's lots of things like friendships and stuff like that that might just happen with them, spending time alone and helping them actually a lot in the situation where they feel a bit disconnected, and they feel a bit upset about not being with their friends the way they used to.